So anyway, so a lot of times I get on the Millionaire Mentoring sessions and I talk about that success is actually a radio broadcast frequency. And when people first hear me say that, they're like, huh? What are you talking about, right? There's something internally inside the body. It's literally like a switch that turns on, okay? Now, when that happens, in order for it to happen, the body has to go from to brrrr, and that flicks the switch, okay? Now, once that happens, you're like the sponge. So the abundance flows right through you versus around you, right? So if you've got a rock and it's in the river, all that the rock will do is get pummeled, right? Now, that's not a bad thing in the first stage of the game, right? When you're in level 1 of victimhood, because you hone your skills, right? But at some point in time, after the end of the first level, comes the spiral, right? Now, the purpose of that spiral, just so you know, is to get this to go and pop. Pandora's box. It's where all the emotions are held from the first level in the game, right? So the challenge that most people have when they get into being an entrepreneur is that they don't understand any of this stuff. So they don't understand that they can't even move into wealth manifestation until this is popped. It's not even possible. You can't even manifest. It's not possible, okay? So typically what happens is they spin their wheel, spin their wheel, spin their wheel. They could do all the activities, everything that I'm telling them to do. They could be doing 50 connections a day. They could be doing blog posts every day. They could be, doing any type of marketing activity. That's one of the reasons why the inner circle is so critical, just so you know, because it helps to get that vibrational resonance up higher. So once the body is in tune, right, at the same resonance of the wealth vibration, it's like the opera starts playing, right? You know what I mean? So all of a sudden you're like, holy cow, this is like all of a sudden really super easy, right? Where it used to be you'd be going through the exact same activities and all you get is pushback, resistance, pushback, right? So this is one of the reasons that I say to people that when you take the focus off your products completely, wipe it out of your brain, okay? Take the focus off of your company, wipe it out of your brain, okay? Because you have to be clear, like a vessel, a clear vessel, nothing in it, right? Nothing in it at all, right? Empty, right? Because of the fact that we as human beings are reflectors, we're like mirrors, okay? So if a person over here is in a low vibrational resonance, they haven't popped their Pandora's box, and they're in victimhood, guess what they get? They get all the victims. And all the people saying, oh, this is a scam. That sounds like one of those pyramid things, right? Those are the people that you typically get that from, right? Very low vibration. They're all broke. They have no money. They're struggling. They can't even come up with $7. They're literally on poverty row, okay? Because they're not in the success vibration. You don't want those people. You can't save those people, okay? So the moment that you become okay, and this is the visual that I have in my mind to sort of conquer this, right? So let's say that it's the end of the world, right? And there's some solar flare, some things coming at the planet, there's you know, global warming and the sun gets through the ozone layer, whatever. And there's a red alert that goes out. And it basically says to the people that they have 5 minutes, okay, to run like 2 miles to get inside some sheltered area. And if they don't make it, those doors are going to shut. They're going to shut, okay? Now, in that particular case, there's going to be some people that are not going to make it. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Some people are not going to be able to run the 2 miles in the designated time to get to safety. And there's nothing that you can do to help. Because if you try to help them, you're going to die too.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the way that you really have to look at business. So if you think that you're going to save that broke victim, you will die. No joke. You will die. They will suck you right down that rabbit hole. They will lower back down your vibrational resonance, and boom, all of a sudden you got another blocker, right? Because there's energy transference that exists, guys. You got to really understand this, okay? This is one of the reasons why it is critical to completely cut yourself off from victimhood. You know, I tell people I'm allergic to victims, okay? And I will share with you that if you are very strong on your boundaries, okay, that I give people warnings. Okay, I'll show you guys this so you can actually see it, because you probably won't believe me unless I actually show you, okay? I will show you, and I will show you what it means to set your boundary, okay? Set your boundary, okay? Now, basically, now this is a guy right now that, I mean, he's in like, I think he's in Africa, okay, you know, and let's just check. Okay, he's in Nigeria, okay, and he wants to be able to do the GMP deal, okay? So, and he keeps on reaching out to me saying, you know, I'm coming up with the money, I'm coming up with the money, I'm coming up with the money. Okay, so I say, okay. So he starts off with his victim story. I've been working tirelessly to put things together, but still very fussy. I need help. Okay, well, he hasn't paid the $297 for the reseller rights, so he doesn't qualify to get the recruiting training, right? And he doesn't have the $77 software, so he can't even do the task, even if he needed to do the task, because he can't put his links onto Facebook. So I say, Tutu, step into your power, bro, and go get the money. If you're serious about your dream, you will find a way. So he comes back again. Now it's another victim story. The exchange rate very high in Nigeria. I had to borrow from 3 places to come this far for $47, right? The money in my account, I was planning for the reseller rights. It has never been this high, 387 near to $1. I say, Tutu, if you keep this up, I will block you, and you will lose your chance at freedom. I don't work well with people in victimhood. Step into your power. You're best to just go get it. Okay? Pardon me, sir. Please don't be offended. If you send me another victim story, you're gone forever from my reality. Like I said, I don't work well with that energy. Last warning, Tutu, be careful what you type. I really do this. So what does he say right away? I'm up again. Thank you for firing me up. Go get it done and change your life. Yes, sir. Okay, so I said, Tutu, please don't go into the group being the victim. Step into your power. Okay, sir. So this is what he had put in the group. Oh, please, Sir Alfredo, I want a custom funnel, please, sir. Right? Another victimhood story. Okay? That's what the software is for. I will be honest, Tutu, maybe this isn't for you. Okay, so now I do the takeaway right here. Do I use my access to JVZoo site at the moment till I raise the money for the reseller? There are expenses to running a business, Tutu. Most of what I teach revolves around mindset, quantum physics, and speaking your reality into existence. Facebook blocks all JVZoo links. You need cloaking software, and it's $77. Okay? You're best to go get that instead of the reseller rights so that you can at least make 50% commissions. So I give them $77 instead of $297. I can get that at least. I'm not technical at all. I paid someone to install it, so please don't ask me about the installation. How much will it cost for the installation? I had a guy in India do it. Link me, please. If you do the victim story on him, too, we will both block you. I won't do that again, ever. I just bought it, he says. You see how things change when you're not prepared to get stuck down a rabbit hole. You see the difference?
Yeah.
Right now, I could have bought into that story, but I'm not. I refuse to. Okay? And I will share this with you guys that if you visualize, okay, the reason that it has gotten easier and easier and easier and easier for me to be able to do that is because of the fact that I've been pulled down the rabbit hole before. I've been sucked down that rabbit hole before, like multiple times in the course of 25 years of my career. So you as a leader, you need to have a boundary. Like, don't go there. You cannot go there. Now, if the person crosses the boundary, warning, warning, my red alert goes up. Warning, right? And I tell them, right? Step into your power. Don't play the victim. Doesn't work here, right? And once you do that, they know. Okay, so if somebody wants to progress into millionaire mentoring and to get support system and be part of a team, they can't bring that energy in, okay? Because it's like cancer, just so you guys know. Okay? And Seb, you know that for fact, right? From our personal story. It's like cancer, literally, no joke. It's like cancer. So what can happen is if the boundary has not been set and that person brings that victimhood into your group, they will infiltrate the group, okay, with their victimhood and transfer the victim energy over to a whole bunch of people, because that's what victims do. They're looking for other people to support their, oh, you don't know how bad I want it. Right? That's what they typically will do. And you as a leader need to, boom, draw a line in the sand. Okay, you got to be very stern with that. Okay, so what I wanted to, there's a couple things that I wanted to, let me just see, hold on a sec here. Just a sec, guys. Okay, let me just see if Todd's available. Okay, there's two things that are really, really imperative in your, I'll just call him in a minute. Okay, right now, both of you are in a, literally like in this, like right here on the runway, like literally ready to go, right? Now, in this type of a business model, network marketing, direct sales, MLM, any type of home-based business industry, anything where you're selling products, recruiting people, anything like that, it doesn't go like this. okay, like a regular business, okay? It goes like this. It goes bop, 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 right? And it goes straight vertical, right? So a person can be in a situation where, like, Brittany, you're right now really super close right now because you had like an 850, you've had a couple of times where you've made over $800 in a single day, okay?
Yeah.
So once that happens, your subconscious mind, okay, starts to believe, because now you've got actual data in your subconscious mind, okay? Right now, Seb probably has data in his subconscious mind of around like 400, 450, I think. If he combines the 350 and a couple other things combined, with the biggest day I think was 450, 475. Seb, around there?
The biggest day I think was 380 dollars. Yeah,
380. Okay. So here's how the subconscious mind will work. Once Seb has one or two more times where it's like 380, 380, all of a sudden there's a recalibration that will happen internally, okay? And if you can tune into that vibrational resonance, just like the radio, they will start to all of a sudden go like a river, okay? So right now is a really, really super important time, okay? And I'll share with you that once that starts to happen, okay, there's a couple things that you have to be aware of in the game. Number one, you're going to be given more power, right? Your being, you get given more power. The universe gives you more power. And then you get a test, right? The test is whether you can, okay, here's the tightrope, okay? The test is, okay, here, hold on a second. Hey, Todd, you ready to get on a call? Okay, give me like maybe 10 minutes. I'm just wrapping something up and I'll send Chad a message. Okay, so, sounds great. Okay. Okay. So basically what happens is that you will be now walking a tightrope, okay? Now, I don't know how this will actually appear on the screen when it flips or whatever. I don't really know how that works. But the right-hand side, I don't know if that looks like it's the right-hand side or...
That looks like the left.
Does it look like the right-hand side? Okay, so it's opposite. So over here, you have being a humble servant leader, and over here, you have your ego, okay? Now, what typically happens, the first time the abundance flow actually kicks in, and you realize that this is way easier than you ever thought in your whole life. Like, it's way easier than people actually think to make money. Way easier, okay? But they have to be very, very aware. They have to become the observer of their thoughts. They've got to hear what they're saying, right? Almost like split consciousness. You have to be the game controller and the person in the game simultaneously, okay? So imagine you're playing the video game, and that guy in the screen, that's your guy. You got, right? That's how the game actually works. People don't realize it until they get further on into the levels of the game. They have no idea that this is actually how it works. So what happens is that your body, right, starts to go into a higher resonance, and then the ego starts to creep in, and you go into euphoria, right, and you feel invincible, okay? And then you start to get a little bit of an attitude, okay? You move out of being the humble servant leader, and you go into ego. Now, as soon as that happens, guys, it's dangerous, because here's what happens. Reset. The game has to reset itself. It's the rule of the game. That's how it works. Okay? Now, if you're aware of it, even if you're aware of it, okay, that ego will just start to just start creeping in like this little tarantula, right? And when that happens, you can actually be in situations where you're aware that there's the ego, you're aware of this stuff, everything I'm telling you, you will be aware of it, and you'll actually see yourself and hear yourself as the observer watching yourself do stuff, and you know that you're in your ego, and it's almost like you can do nothing to stop it. It's really bizarre, guys, okay? Now, when the first, at some point in time, you will experience this, of what I'm talking about. Now, I don't know what is going to be your level, right? It might be when you hit $1,000 days, $2,000 days, $3,000 days, $5,000 days, $10,000 in a day, right? I don't know what your personal threshold is going to be before some of this stuff starts to actually happen for you. But just be aware of the fact that this shit's real. Okay, it's totally real. Okay, so right now, the key thing that you've got to understand, both you guys are really starting to get this whole concept, right? Because I can see you mirroring some of the strategies and whatnot that I do to get a lot of interest. I saw Seb yesterday. It's like he talked about doing this webinar, and those people that are responding like, I want reps, I want reps, I want reps, I want reps. That's money, guys. That is money sitting, waiting to be collected. Literally, it's sitting there, waiting to be collected for you. Okay, so those type of things. Now you'll notice that the thing that he's talking about is what everybody needs. Interesting. Right, so it has nothing to do with the company, nothing to do with products. It has everything to do with the problems that people are actually facing right now. So what are the problems? They ran out of their warm market, they got no leads. Huge problem. Straight across the board in every single company. Once they get the leads, they don't know how to close them, because they think it's a features and benefits business model, and they don't realize it's about finding out where the person's at, what's going on in their reality right now, and what's their vision, where do they want to go, two realities, right? So once you learn this, guys, I'm telling you, your recruiting will go boom, right? Because even when somebody says to me, Darren, I want instant commissions. I say, hey, Tom, how's it going? How's your day going so far? Right? What has you looking for more income right now? Because I know he's going to focus on his pain, right? His pain, his pain, his pain, his pain, right? Now, in the event, I'm going to just get data. Okay, so when you guys really want to the next level here, you have to be the detective, okay? And it turns around the polarity of the magnet. So if you're a pitcher, right, the polarity is actually turned the wrong way, right? It repels the people, okay? Once you learn about the polarity and you turn the polarity around and you're no longer pitching, you're actually helping people solve their problems. And how can you help a person solve their problem if you don't even know what the problem is? You can't. It's not possible. So it's like martial arts. Okay? So the way that you want to be thinking about it in your mind, all these little visualization things that you're thinking about as you're doing this stuff increases your powers to recruit. Okay? So I'm going to be thinking of, like when you see me with that big magnet, it's got money flowing to it. That's data. That's data. So I'm going to pull the data out of you, okay, to pique your curiosity, and I'm using your energy. to take you through to the other side. It's not me doing it. Okay, so I'm going to pull the data out, pique your curiosity, and go for the close. Okay, see how that works? It's exactly like martial arts, right? So there's a lot of stuff that's very, very simple. Now people will say to me, Darren, you know, how can you recruit new reps so fast? Because I understand this. I understand about the energy. I understand that you can't help a person unless you know what their problem is, okay? Unless you know what's going on in their life right now and what's their vision, okay? So I'm going to collect data, okay? So that's the reality right now. But where do I want to take them to? Their vision. And once they're connected right here, I got leverage and whomp on the other side. You see how that works? So right now is a critical time for both you, because your subconscious mind has already believed that $850 is possible in a day, because you've already done it twice. Seb's subconscious mind already has data for around 380. Okay, now all it takes, guys, is a couple of times. Your body will sort of adjust, right? It will go through a recalibration, right? But you have to keep up with all of this other stuff, like the personal development, the inner circle audios, the deep trance identification, the daily proclamations, the speaking your reality into existence. Now, typically, what I do, I'm going to give you my secret formula. Okay. When I really want to go into the next level of recruiting and right, I typically make it a rule that I'm going to explain to people the wave particle theory and the two worlds that exist simultaneously 3 times in a day. Okay, 3 different people. Okay, so I'm depositing into the universe. I'm depositing into raising human consciousness. Okay, now every time you make that deposit, you get a raise, you get a pay 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 raise, because you're actually affecting positively other people's lives. You're empowering them to understand how they can steer their own ship, right? So what I do is I explain to them the wave particle theory, the wave of energy, the particle of matter, the 2 laboratories, and then I talk to them about the difference between an affirmation and a proclamation. Okay, an affirmation is positive. I'm driving an Aston Martin. That's an affirmation. But a proclamation is emotional, and it has movement behind it, and it's done standing up. I'm driving an Aston Martin. Big difference, right? So I'll explain the difference between that. Now, by me explaining it 3 times, what do you think happens to my body? Right? It goes up to a really, really super high resonance, and bam, the abundance flow starts to open, right? So the critical things right now for anybody that's in a state. Sarah, hi, I just noticed that you were there. Well, welcome to the call. Sarah, just can you unmute for a sec? Oh, Sarah doesn't have a mic. Okay, no worries. Okay, so the 2 critical things right now that are really super, super important are going to be your lead magnet. Okay, what is it doing to solve people's problems? Now, it doesn't have to be all the problems. It can be one of the problems, right? And it can be how you used a specific marketing strategy to solve a specific problem that created a certain amount of data, and now you're going to share how you did it. Really simple concept, okay? So it could be just the problems in general and how there's a specific solution, and you want to remember this. You want to have people understand that you were once them. Okay, you know how painful it can be. You know how hard it can be to be connected to your dream, be spinning your wheels. You know how it sucks to have rejection. You know what it's like when you phone your friends and family and they won't return your phone calls. They won't even. You want to go to a movie, nobody will even pick up the phone to go to a movie with you anymore, right? You know what that pain feels like. You know what that feels like. So, but what I found was this. Okay, so value on the front, feel, felt, found, and then boom, here's the solution, right? So that's going to be really critical right now. Now I'll share with you guys this. When I was back in doing Explosial, I was running a webinar on why people fail in MLM. Okay, now that particular webinar on how to recruit new reps in 6 to 45 minutes, that actually brings me a lot of calls. I get a lot of incoming calls. Philip, as an example, called me from that. So he was with Jeunesse Global, went online, typed that in, it came up, watched the video, went, holy crap, picked up the phone, called me, we talked for about 45 minutes, I told him what he needed, he got the software, he got a blog, right? And then he said, Darren, how can I get more of your personal time? I really want mentoring. And I said, well, if you really want one-on-one mentoring in a group environment like this, you're going to have to at least be a six-figure builder. Guess who's the six-figure builder now? Okay, so what was I actually marketing? Think about it.
You.
Exactly. So was he buying the software? No, he was buying the software because I told him he needed it. Just like what Dave Wood says. Okay, here's what we're gonna do next. Right? I use that all the time, guys. All the time. That's what top recruiters say. Okay, here's what we're gonna do next. Okay, go here, get this software, get the reseller rights, and message me when you're done. I'd use that all the time. Okay. Then on the other side, the blog, the inner circle, and the six-figure builder. Here's what I said to him. I said, Philip, you really have to make it. You got to draw a line in the sand, bro. You got to look at how long that you've been down this rabbit hole and the education that you've got, everything else, and you're $500,000 in debt. Now, if you don't get the proper education and the proper leadership, how are you going to pull this off? Right? So you start to ask those type of questions. Now, it makes sense that if you're making $3,000 commissions instead of $17.50 commissions, you're going to get there a lot faster. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right? You want to ask yes, 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 yes questions, right? Okay, guys, I got to get on another conference call. Lead magnets, PowerPoint presentation. Can you guys see why this stuff is so critical now?
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
All the stuff that we've been talking about. Can you see how all of this stuff fits together? If you still don't have a branded page by David, seriously, guys, shame on you. Because that's the formula.
Yeah.
That's the formula. You got to have a branded page, and you got to be giving out value, and you need a work with me now button underneath it. And if you don't have that, you will not go to seven figures. I'm telling you guys straight. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm telling you that a good part of all of the stuff that I get, the interaction of social media, the calls that I get, is all from that. All of it, guys. That's how I get my phone ringing with incoming phone calls. That's how people pull out their credit card and go directly to Black Card because they say, Darren, I want mentoring. And I say, well, the only people that get mentoring is people that are all in. Well, what do I got to do to do that? Go here, do this, buy these products, message me when you're done. Right? Okay.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
guys.
Thank you very much.
Okay, take care.
Thanks, Darren.